8. Touch, the illusion of pleasure.
People are all involved in the filth of sex. One does not like the presence of light during sexual activity. They get alarmed when the light comes on. Therefore, they keep the lights off. If the light falls on the spot of the sexual activity, then one would not like that place of enjoyment, the organ of sexual interaction. That is why, what has Kripaludev called the place of enjoyment?
It is not worth vomiting over, Dada. Yet, what is the reason for being so attracted to that part of the woman's body?
This is due to our wrong belief. Why don't we get attracted to a cow's body part? It is only our belief. There's nothing except for our belief. Destroy that belief and there would not be anything.
Do these beliefs arise due to circumstances coming together, Dada?
These beliefs arise by what others say to us. Then, by supporting those statements, your beliefs become strong. After all, what is there in it? Just pieces of flesh. The thoughts of sex arise in the mind by themselves. You must cleanse them with pratikraman. Then you must never say that sexuality is good, and it should not be so in your behavior. You must not look sensually at a woman, and you must not touch a woman. If you have touched a woman, then you should do pratikraman. Oh no, why did I touch her? This is because thoughts of Vishaya begin with the act of touching.
Dada, is this not considered despising a woman?
That is not called despising. When doing pratikraman, you are asking for forgiveness from the pure soul within her, that I made a mistake, please give me strength not to do the same again. You have to ask for strength from the soul within her. You have to ask for strength from whomever you have made a mistake against, so that you will keep getting strength.
So then, touch does have an effect, does it not?
At that time, you should return to your state of awareness. I am separate from this body. I am not Chandresh. This pure awareness should remain. Whenever this happens, remain in pure awareness of the self, and I am not Chandresh. The moment the thought of pleasure from being touched arises, you must uproot it and throw it out. If you do not do that instantly, then it will sprout and grow into a tree within the first second. Within the next second, it will get you in its stranglehold, and within the third second, you would be strangulated. If there is no account from the previous life, then even a simple touch will not occur. Even if a man and a woman were to spend a long time alone in one room, not a single thought or impulse of sexual nature will arise.
You said that attraction occurs because there is an account between the two. Then how can one get rid of that account before it unfolds?
That can only be done if it is done at that very moment it occurs. It cannot be done in advance. The moment a thought like, let me reserve some space next to me for a woman, arises in your mind, you must get rid of it right away. What is the intention? See that as soon as it happens. You have to recognize the intention behind that. Is it in line with your principle of brahmacharya, or is it contrary to it? If it is contrary to your principle, uproot it and throw it away instantly.
Dada, I do not want to touch anyone, but what should I do if a girl comes and touches me?
I see. What would you do to a snake that wants to touch you? How can one like touching a woman or a man? How can one like touching something that is simply filth?
But while touching, whatever is being discussed here does not come to mind.
Yes, but how will it ever come in the mind? At the time of touching, it is so poisonous that the veil of ignorance covers the mind, the intellect, the chit, and the ego. Man becomes unconscious while awake. He becomes like an animal. If ever touching or any similar acts occur, come and tell me, and I will cleanse it right away for you. If you indulge in thoughts of a woman or in thoughts of sex, if you contemplate or meditate about them, a tuber of sexuality will form. How will it then dissolve? Having thoughts opposing sex will dissolve the tuber. Once your vision towards a person turns and becomes sexual, then the indulgence begins. There is a reason behind it. Behind that, there are causes from the previous life. That is why this vision of sexuality does not happen with everyone. It is only with a certain person that it happens. If there were causes laid in a previous life, and therefore an ongoing account continuing in this life, and then if indulgence takes place, then realize that this is a large account and therefore be very vigilant. You will need to keep on doing pratikraman towards that person. There should be a lot of alochnas, that is heartfelt confession, pratikramans, that is apology coupled with remorse, and pratyakhyans, resolve never to repeat that mistake. This sex is such a thing that it does not let the mind and the chit remain the way they want to. And once they fall in this trap of sex and believe that there is happiness there, then the chit begins to go there even more and more by believing that it is really nice here, it is really good here. Countless numbers of new seeds are sown here.
Dada, but he has brought all that from his previous life, has he not?
His chit's repeated going there is not something that he has brought from his previous life, but afterwards he loses control over his chit when it keeps slipping from his hands even when he does not want to go there. That is why it is better if these boys live with an inner intent of practicing brahmacharya. Then, whatever sexual discharge occurs either during the day or night is all really a discharge. If these young adults are involved in a sexual activity even once, they will have dreams about it day and night. Have you not experienced that if your chit goes into sex, you cannot focus properly?
If the chit has touched even a bit of the vibrations of sexual impulses, then it would not remain still for a long time, Dada.
Therefore, what I am trying to say is that you can travel anywhere in the world. If nothing in the world captivates your chit, then you are truly independent. For years, I have seen that nothing captivates my chit, and therefore I know that I have become completely independent. There's nothing wrong with bad thoughts that may arise, but your chit should never be captivated by anything. However much the tendencies of the chit wander, that much the self has to wander. Wherever the chit's tendencies go, you will have to go with them. Chit draws a map. It draws a map of comings and goings of your next life. You then have to follow that map. Therefore, where do all the tendencies of the chit go?
Chit does not get captivated everywhere, but if it does in a certain place, then is there a previous account there, Dada?
Yes, the chit will be captivated only if there is an account there. But what should you do now? Purusharth, or realized self-oriented effort, is that which does not allow the captivation even if there is a past account with that. It is not considered a brahmacharya as long as pratikraman is done when the chit goes. It is a brahmacharya if pratikraman is not done. Whatever makes the chit unsteady is vishay. Whatever makes the chit unsteady are all vishayas. Wherever the chit goes outside of the jnana, the self is all vishay.
You said that there is nothing wrong in having any bad thoughts, but problem is with the chit going there.
Yes, the problem is with the chit. Wandering of the chit is the problem. There is no problem with any kind of thought at all. But after acquiring this jnana, the chit must not wander.
Dada, what if the chit does wander sometimes?
Then you should initiate purusharth of now this should not happen. Is the chit wandering now as much as it used to before?
No, it does not slip that much. Yet I am asking about it, Dada.
No, but the chit must not wander at all. You will have all kinds of thoughts. There is nothing wrong in it, but keep on pushing them away. Start having a conversation with the mind. Start conversing with the mind saying, if you meet this person, what will you tell him about your project? Where will you arrange transportation for him? Or start talking to your mind about satsang. When you do this, the mind will show you some new ideas. What captivates the chit the most? Sex. Once the chit becomes trapped in sex, it destroys all divinity within one. With loss of divinity, one becomes like an animal. Sexual indulgence is the cause of animalistic behavior of human beings. Yet, what I'm saying is that all this is an accumulation of karma from the past life, and it will be discharged sooner or later. The best thing is not to accumulate new ones in this life.
9. Strictness towards file.
Dada, how can we escape the net of attraction of sex thrown at us by someone?
You should not initiate eye contact with that person. If you know that she will cast the net, then you should not initiate any eye contact with her. Wherever you think that there's a trap, you should not meet with that person. When talking with anyone, do not make eye contact with that person. Always look down and talk. The problem is created with the way you look at the person. There is poison in this sexual vision, and that poison is intoxicating. Therefore, if there has been an eye contact and that individual attracts you, you should immediately do pratikraman. You must remain vigilant here. Those who do not want to ruin their current life, beware. When the file, that is karmic account of past life with a person, to which you are attracted, approaches, your mind becomes restless. At that time, the mind becomes restless and you feel miserable. This person's mind became restless. That is why I had the stern look in my eyes. When the file approaches, everything becomes restless within. It goes up and down as soon as you think about her or him. It is nothing but garbage inside. The only thing that is valuable inside is the soul. It is very dangerous if you remember a file in her absence. If the file is not present, you do not remember her. But then as soon as that file comes, and if it affects you, then it is a secondary danger. You should not let this affect you. It is important to be independent. At that time, you lose your reins, and then you would not have any control, would you? It is very dangerous if you already have a file. You must remain stern towards that file. If that file comes in front of you, you should show anger in your eyes. Then that file will be fearful of you.
Dada, if we have a file and we do not have any feeling of scorn towards her, then should we deliberately create scorn towards her?
Yes. Why can't you create scorn and hatred? Would you not hate the person who causes so much harm to you in your lifelong goal of brahmacharya? Therefore, there is still weakness within you. Your intentions are still unclear. Therefore, deception and intent still remains within you as a weakness.
Dada, if too much familiarity has occurred with her, then how can it be undone? Should I intentionally be hateful towards her and despise her?
Lots of pratikramans need to be done by saying, not mine, not mine, not mine. Then, when you meet her in person, you can let her have it. Why are you fluttering around me like a useless animal? Then she will not show her face again.
Dada, what should we do if we realize that the other person is not a file for us, but we are a file for her?
Then you should get rid of it even sooner. You should stay firm. Then she will stop making plans. If this doesn't work, then you can even talk something crazy. You can say, if you come before me, then I will slap you. You will not find anyone crazier than me. This way the file would not come again. This is the only way to get rid of her.
10. Sexual behavior. Dismissal from group.
It is wrong to come to this group of Mahatmas and then have sexual thoughts and impulses towards anyone. Here everyone comes with full trust. By coming here, all the sins, including sexual sins that were committed elsewhere, are cleansed. But the consequences of the sins that are committed here will have to be paid for in hell. We can release you of your sins that are already committed, but you must avoid committing new sins. Here, there is a solution for the sins that have already been committed. It is better to get married than to behave as an animal in sexual matters. What is wrong in getting married? Fulfilling one's sexual needs by getting married is better. Not getting married and continuing to be sexually active with many persons is very dangerous and earns you the right to go to hell. We cannot have that here, can we? Having sex with your marital partner is rightful sex. Breaking the vow of brahmacharya is a major sin. Breaking the vow of brahmacharya is a major problem. It is like falling from a great height. It is like uprooting a 10-year-old tree. 10 years are wasted, are they not? It is like replanting it all over again. When the person practicing brahmacharya slips, just for one day, all is lost.
My commitment is firm, but I still make mistakes, Dada.
I can accept if other mistakes occur, but circumstances leading to sexual interaction must never occur. You must accept two conditions. First, if act of sex occurs, then I would personally leave this group of brahmacharis. Nobody else will have to tell me to leave. I will walk away on my own. Secondly, if I doze off in spiritual lethargy in the presence of Dada, then I will accept whatever punishment the group gives me. This punishment may be fasting for 3 days or something like that.
11. Complete safe side in brahmacharya.
There's a precondition and requirements to be able to practice brahmacharya. The precondition is that you should have taken Jnana. Then the necessary requirements are being in a group of people practicing brahmacharya. They should live in a place outside and away from the city, and they should have some continuing guidance. All these circumstances should be present.
Does that mean that bad company can destroy the power of a firm resolution of brahmacharya, Dada?
Yes, it would break your resolve. Bad company can completely change a person's behavior, just as the company of good people can change a person's behavior. But once a person joins the company of the immoral, it is very difficult to bring him back. And it does not take long at all for a person who is in the company of spiritual people to get into immoral company.
There are all kinds of tubers within, but the tuber of sex torments the most, Dada.
Certain tubers will torment you more than others. You need to keep an army ready to counteract that. All the tubers are being worn out and exhausted slowly, and one day they will all be exhausted.
Dada, what do you mean by an army? Pratikaman?
Pratikaman and firm resolution, that is Nischay, are the armies to be maintained. Then the continued darshan of the Gnani Purush is necessary. If you become remote from this darshan of the Gnani Purush, you may have problems with brahmacharya. Therefore, to be free from all potential dangers in this path of brahmacharya is not an easy thing.
When would complete safe side occur in this quest of brahmacharya?
There's no way to know when you can be completely safe. But after 35 years, the strengths of the inner sexual impulses will wane, and thus it will not torment you as much. Then you will have much greater control. And your internal state and body will follow your thoughts of brahmacharya. Your desires will not be tainted with sexual elements and thus will not harm you. But for 35 years, there's a lot of potential danger.
Dada Bhagwan na asim jai jaikar ho. Dada Bhagwan na asim jai jaikar ho. Dada Bhagwan na asim jai jaikar ho.